We are sitting down, as we do almost every Wednesday, with the Minerals Commission. Today, because of popular demand and by popular request, the CEO is back on the seat today to tell us more about the local content and local participation regulations 2020. Many of you reached out to the Minerals Commission asking for more details on how you can participate in that billion-dollar industry. And so we are back with CEO who is at the table with us, Martin Ayisi, and he will be answering some questions. Stacey, good morning and welcome back once again.
Morning.
So our people have been calling and they asked you to come back. I bet many of them will also be watching this on the Minerals Commission's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter handles at Minerals Commission Ghana. So follow the Minerals Commission handles and you can get a lot more of your questions answered on those platforms: Minerals Commission Ghana, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. We'll be opening the phone lines very shortly and I'll announce the number in a little while so that you can join the conversation and also have your questions answered. So, Mr. CEO, last week we sat here and we tried to explain how people can get themselves or their businesses registered in order to supply some of these items, the 41 items listed by LI 2431. And you got calls that people wanted better clarity. So take us through the process again. How do you get the approval and authorization you need to do this?
Tema, good morning.
Good morning.
And it's great to be here. Last week I put my phone out there, my WhatsApp number. Oh boy, I get about 100 messages. The gentleman who was calling about the certification thing is here to reach out, but all the others have reached out and we resolve most of the issues. Right now, there are some guys who are waiting at Mincom wanting to see me, but I've asked that they see the other officers. Anyway, by the way, how do you get in? How do you get registered to provide any of the items listed on the, what do you call it, 4th edition, the so-called 41 items?
We've already established that some of those include catering services, supply of lubricants.
Now,
so what's the offer? What's the on offer in the list? And then you can tell us how to get the approval. Someone may be watching us.
Everything is on offer, but you see, it's not everybody who can just get in and do anything you want. So it's important I clarify that. Let's start this way. There are 3 categories of persons or entities that can get in there by virtue of the way the law is set out. 1, there are certain items or services or products that can only be supplied by persons or entities or companies whose shareholders and directors are 100% Ghanaian. I keep repeating, the likes of fuel, security, catering, cab management, contract mining service operations, lubricants now.
Haulage?
Yes, haulage. And then, so you're understanding it. And of course, what do you call it? Contract mining for small scale mining. These are all reserved for Ghanaians. Then you have areas or products or services that anybody can just come in and do it. So whether you're a foreigner or anywhere in the world, just come in and then I'll talk about that. Let's say explosives. It's not reserved for anybody yet. So anybody can just come in, set up or say, I want to import. So you have that one too. And then we have certain items or products or services where even if you are a Ghanaian, you can only be registered to provide those services or items, provided you live within the vicinity of the mine. The so-called local. So let's take the requirements, slowly. So let's first deal with the local folks. So let's say if you go to Prestia, persons who are living within the municipality or the area, if it's Takwa, Dunkwa, or Boasi, that area, we've made the requirements so simple and straightforward for them. 7 items are required, but don't be scared by the numbers. Some of the things are just statutory or they are so basic. For instance, you need a national ID. That's a norm now everywhere, bank. You need SNIT clearance certificate. You need your VAT registration certificate. You need GRA tax clearance certificate. So I've mentioned 4. SNIT, VAT, tax from GRA, national ID. Then, of course, an incorporation document, some kind of a document which shows that you're a company. That one you get it from Registrar General. That's about 5. And then a short description of yourself. I'm so and so. I live in this community in Obuasi, etc. Because you see, we want the situation where you don't come from another area and come and provide a service meant for the locals there. And of course, if you have a contract or some letter of intent with the company, you can add that. We don't charge you processing fee, and then you just put in your application. So that is that. It's just simple. They don't have to provide any business plan. I mean, you ask a carpenter or a plumber to develop a business plan, there's nothing like that for them. And their fee, straightforward, is about 1,400 Ghana cedis a whole year. The registration is for a year, is renewable. And there are some, what do you call it, steps or initiatives that we've taken to make life even easier for them. For instance, somebody can just walk into the office of the Minerals Commission or any of the districts and say that, look, I understand Newmont or Goldfields or what do you call FGA or WASA has just put out a bid for the supply of this or whatever. It's closing tomorrow. What do we do? If you go there, the company will say, go get registered. So for the local people, this is the flexibility we have for them. Just lodge an application. So if you rush to our office today and say, oh, the bid is closing tomorrow or today, close of today, you can just submit an application today. We'll allow you to go and bid. We've informed all the mining companies that once somebody within the community has lodged an application with Minerals Commission, it's enough for him to, participate. And even where he's able to win, he can even start work. But typically, because the requirements are very simple and straightforward, 2-3 days, maximum a week, they will get it. So that's how life is very simple for them. Then the other ones, the bigger ones, the multi-billion-dollar ones, those are the ones that you require some of the things I've mentioned. You require your SNIT, your VAT, and then the tax. You need to develop a business plan. We have a schedule, a template, how it's done. They normally come, we take them through because we don't want you to keep writing it 100 times and say we are delaying your application. Then if you have a contract with the mining company, let us also know. And then, of course, this is big time, so we will need some kind of your financial capacity.
Is it possible to get a contract with a mining company before applying for these approvals from the Minerals Commission?
In fact, some of them walk into our office and say, look, I have just gotten a contract with company A. I'm here to register. So we do it for them quickly. And once he has a contract and the companies will not wait for you, especially if they are Ghanaians, we will tell them, if they want you to start, just go ahead. We will just have to do an email or send a letter to the company and say, Tema has lodged an application with us. We are processing it, but just go ahead with the processes. And if you need him to start work, because you see, price of the metals change every second. So a day, the price of gold could fall like $100 or $50. They won't wait for you. So we get that. Initially, like a year or 2 years ago, you have to get all your papers. Then they started crying. And then we decided to meet them halfway. So that's how it works. So you also need your audited financial statements. You need your, annual report the last 3 years. And then you should be able to tell us that, look, you have money. As I said, if you are going to get a $200 million or $100 million or $50 million contract, it shouldn't be any fly-by-night person or entity. Let's have some kind of financial, demonstration. So you can just go to a bank and say, look, the bank has promised or has committed to giving me this money for this contract, or this is my own account, or I have this person who is my sponsor who will back me. We will just check. So by and large, these are the requirements that anybody, any Ghanaian who wants to provide any of these services or procure any of these products has to go through. We don't delay. It shouldn't take you more than a week or less. I mean, more than a week to get registered as a local person. Now the online system has become a game changer for us. The bigger guys, sometimes they struggle with the business plan, and they struggle with the account and the financial statement and all those things. But that's the law. We just have to make sure that you can do the work. And then you don't just get up and walk in and say, get me registered, I have $100 million contract. It doesn't work that way, because some of them require even you should put up a bond or provide some insurance guarantee that you do this way in case there's a problem. So these are the requirements, and it's quite easy to get in.
So you basically have to identify which of these 3 categories that you fall under, whether it's for whether you're excluded from the foreign category, which is open to everybody who is a foreign national or a Ghanaian when it comes to underground mining, for example. You have to figure out which of the items under the Ghanaian requirement you fall under, and if you're local, you need to figure out where exactly you want to tailor your service or offer your services. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. The point is this. You see, when you work in our office, you can get someone, they work in all the time, either at the district office or the regional office, or even come to headquarters. He will say, oh, look, I'm a Ghanaian, I want to do this. What can what are the requirements? And then we'll tell them. Others also send email, we respond. And then some people also come in and say, look, I want to provide this particular service. And then we'll tell him, no, are you a Ghanaian? If he says no, then we'll tell you straight away, you're not qualified. But if he's qualified, then we'll ask you, these are the requirements. We tell them. Others also working because of this education, and then they will say, I want to get in. I want to provide what's supposed to be. So sometimes I ask them, what do you want to do? And then they don't know what to do. So we take our time, our officers take their time, we give them the list, we'll take them through it and say, these are the items available, and these are the requirements. So you go and think of what you want to do, come back, we'll help you with the application process.
Okay.
Yes.
And you can
Some also come and they know what to do. So somebody will work, like yesterday, somebody walked in and said, I have a security company. I want to extend my tentacles to the mining companies. What do I do? And then we took him to the requirements, got him an officer. He did everything. He got his document uploaded.
So for someone like that person in particular wanting to go into offering security for the mines, will there be a different set of requirements apart from the general areas where you've taken us through, like the national ID and the statement and the description of the business plan and all that?
Well, if you want to provide security, all those things are required. We need to know that you are properly registered for tax purposes. You see, in the past, anybody can just get up and set up a company. Now, the rules are quite strict. We need to make sure you have your VAT documents. You claim you are a security company. I asked him yesterday, how long have you been working? He said, I've been working the past 5 years. So you have some kind of audited account. He said, yes. Can you give us a statement showing your operations over the period, the companies you are working with? Because you see, when the person has experience, it's very easy for him to go through the process. The man says he has a security company. He's providing security for 1 or 2 banks, maybe GBC here and there. What are you going to doubt? We'll just cross-check. We'll just call the other company and say, do you know this person? Has he got any obligations, etc.? Because see, we don't want you. Maybe the person has some challenges or problems there. So we'll tell you, look, we did a background check. These 4 companies that you have been providing security services are complaining. So, mine is a very sensitive area. Maybe there are other issues. So they go through, we take our time, school them properly. So his own like this is quite straightforward. He came with all his documents prepared and he got it uploaded. Right. So by next week, we should be registering him. And then the next thing is to go and look for contracts.
Yes, so that brings me nicely to the next question. What happens after a person goes through the registration process? Is that where they are free to do the business? Is that where they are free to engage in the business that they applied for the license or approval?
Once you have been properly registered by the Minerals Commission, what it simply means is that any mining company can hire you to provide any of the services for which your objects. So if you say security, you're going to do contract mining, they can just hire your services. Now, this is how it works. A lot of them come with contracts. So for those ones, it's like a done deal. One leg is already there. You only needed the documents to start the work. That's one. Others also provide what we call letter of intent. So Thermal Mining Company has been given a letter of intent that, look, we'll give you this contract provided you get registered with Minerals Commission. So they come with letter of intent. Once they are done, they give them a proper contract. And we are supposed to see the contract. You are supposed to submit the contract to us. So that's also the other one. And then for the local, the mining companies register them. So you can go to Newmont and all the communities there, all the people there, they have the list of the plumbers. They have the list of the carpenters. They have the list of the companies that provide these electrical services. They have companies that do general supplies, sanitary, toiletries and all those. They have the list, and the list keep growing every day. So when Newmont says, I want some electrical works done, they go into their list and say, 20 of you bid. Maybe this is $1 million or some 50,000 or 100,000. And or plumbing, they say, look, we want plumbers to come and fix this thing. So they call all of them.
All of them?
Yes, they call and say, yeah, because there are many. There are many. And sometimes they give it to them. So you'll be here, somebody else will be here, because they want the work done quickly. Maybe within 2 weeks or so, you cannot do it. Some also take it and subcontract. So you go and take the job, and then you hire the plumbers, the electricians and all those guys there, and then you give them subcontract. So I've seen about 4 subcontractors. You take the job, maybe it's perhaps 2 million Ghana cedis, then you give it to me. Then I also subcontract that part, So you go there, a whole lot of them are working. That's how it works.
And in this selection process, what role does the Minerals Commission play to ensure fairness for all the players who are participating?
The law gives us certain powers. We have the right to investigate if we receive complaints from any supplier or any company says that, look, like bid rigging, or he's been discriminated. For instance, I've just received a complaint of a company that is favoring a certain category of people over other people. We are going to investigate. And normally we draw the attention of the company to some of these things. I mean, these are genuine concerns. So that is also what we can investigate. And then secondly, too, the law requires that you, in your procurement plan, you broaden opportunities for the suppliers and even provide technical and then financial assistance. So sometimes you will see the companies will say, all of you that provide these services or this good or whatever, I'm going to do training for all of you. So they take them through training. They train them, standards, the quality, and how to do it. Initially, they were having challenges. They send the items and then they are rejected. And then we told the companies that no, the law requires you train them and tell them what you want. So they do all that now. Yes.
And I'm happy to hear that a lot of people comply to some of these oversight responsibilities that the Minerals Commission does. And I just want to find out the local people's ability to deliver is largely based on how much money they can also raise to finance the operations that they do. So when we talk about these financial statements, are those things that also apply to the locals, because they would have to show proof of some funds to execute what they're doing?
No.
Unless it is only for those who are doing the Ghanaians reserve businesses, and they will receive monies from the mining companies to execute those ones.
Tema, let me explain this and let me clarify. Mm-hmm. If you want to get in there, or you want to register as a local, that is persons living around the mine, you don't need to demonstrate your financial and technical capacity. We don't require that. Let me repeat, we don't require that. I don't need a bank statement from you. We don't need any audited accounts. We don't need any proof that you have money. I mean, I should ask a carpenter or a plumber or a mason to come and provide those things. We don't ask them for that. Far from that. Just show us your VAT registration certificate. Let me repeat. Provide us your seed clearance certificate that you've been given tax clearance certificate by Ghana Revenue Authority. We need your national ID. Now it's a Ghana card. But if they bring Electoral Commission one or passport, we take it. But we normally insist on a Ghana card now. It's not everybody who is registered. So if you bring a passport, we'll take it. If you bring Electoral Commission card, we'll take it. It's some form of ID. People use that to fly. I mean, from Accra to Kumasi. And then a short description about yourself. Oh, I live in Obuasi, Brahabe Bomi, I do this, X, Y, Z, that's all. And then the company registration document. So no local person is supposed to show evidence that he has the technical skills or the financial capacity to audited accounts. No.
I'm asking this because if there was that requirement, then I would have followed up with the question of whether they have access to loans to help them.
No, they don't need that. They don't need that. In fact, some of them are doing so well that they are not even moving to the second category of Ghanaians, like fuel, lubricants and co. Those are
so there's always a way to grow from maybe a local company into another level of supply in the same space of local content.
It's just like somebody starts as a chemist. Now he has pharmacy shops all over Ghana. There are small scale companies or people who have been doing small scale mining for years. Now they have large scale prospecting lines, and even some of them are doing mining to the extent that even one guy has become so big that he's even doing contract mining for a large scale company. So it's just like a typical businessman. If you plan your stuff very well, you go places.
Lots of room to grow in there. You can join the conversation. The phone number to call into 054-366-4264. The line is open now. You can call and ask Mr. Ayisi some questions. He's the CEO of the Minerals Commission. We are talking about the Local Content and Local Participation Regulations 2020 LI 2431, and that law gives local people the opportunity, gives them room to also offer services to the mining companies and mining industry, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You can be a part of that. You just need to go through the appropriate registration processes, and you could get authorized to provide some of these services and help the whole country retain some of these monies locally. You can also watch us live on Ghana Broadcasting Corporation on Facebook. You can watch this program also on the Minerals Commission social media pages. Just look for Minerals Commission Ghana. Find them on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Mr. Ayisi is here to answer your questions. I just wonder what the response has been, Mr. Ayisi, since we started these engagements about the opportunities that exist for local people in the space. And I know that you've received many calls. I'll pick your thoughts on how this has been received in a little while. There's a caller on the line I'd like to hear from. Good morning. Your name and where you are calling us from?
My name is Yeboah, calling from Kumasi.
Yeboah from Kumasi. So you're very close to some of the mining communities. Are you interested in any of the services that Mr. Ayisi has told us about this morning?
Of course, I'm much interested. I want to find out something from him.
He's hearing you.
I want to find out from him that the mining companies give them their procurement plans.
Procurement plans by the mining companies?
Yes.
Okay.
So, in the sense that if I come to him that, okay, I want to go to Cherano mine, and then I've done everything, and say, oh, okay, they have a procurement plan that maybe mid-year or the last quarter they will do ABC there. I want to know from it. Do they know the mining companies, their procurement plan? That's what I want to know from.
Okay, thank you, Yeboah, for calling us. And Mr. Ayisi will answer your question now. Do the companies tell you what they want to purchase?
Yes.
Which you can pass on to prospective suppliers?
Maybe he missed the first edition. But then this is what the law says. I have the law here. But it's in my head, so I can just tell you straight away. Every mining company that is registered in Ghana to do exploration, to do actual mining or extraction, or to provide any support services, you are supposed to give us a procurement plan for 5 years. 5 years. Now, your procurement plan must be based on the items on the list. So, for example, you tell us that as for this one, I'm going to buy it in Ghana because there's no room to maneuver. The law says that exclusively Ghanaian. This one, I'm going to export this quantity, I'm going to import this quantity. So you have to give it to us. Now, guess what? If you don't submit your procurement plan, the first 6 months, every month, the fine is CD equivalent of $10,000. So first 6 months, you are talking about $60,000 fine if you don't submit. Then beyond the 6 months, every day you pay $10,000. So it is mandatory, it is obligatory that once you are registered as a mining company, you must submit your procurement plan to the Minerals Commission, so we know everything.
And this is information that you can pass on to such companies.
We have all of them, and we know what Newmont or Goldfields, etc., says they want to do. So, for instance, they will tell you, I'm going to purchase these items for this year, so much. That is it. So when it's time for them to purchase, they just have to invite the companies or do adverts in the papers.
So that people can send.
Yes, they always do adverts in the papers. For the local, they call them.
It's a community based.
They tell all of them, come over. So yes, that's my answer to him. It is mandatory. It is a requirement. You don't play with it.
Alhaji Dauda, you are reaching us from Medina Estate. I understand you also have a question for Mr. Ayisi. Let's hear it.
Good morning and Eid Mubarak to you. Yes, I am a pensioner. Our gentleman in the studio, do you have a desk in your office to do same as Men's Goal was doing? For we pensioners, if we want to invest, what investment portfolios can we join you? Because you were sitting down and Men's Goal took some of our money. You did not say anything. Two, I saw you distributing machines. Not you, but government.
Yes.
The Minister for Forestry and Mines did distribute some machines, which I'm told is a new form of small-scale mining machines that will move all, that we will not use graders and caterpillars and bulldozers again in the water. Now, can you take us through how can these machines be used and who are qualified to apply and pick these machines? Thank you.
Thank you, Alhaji Dauda. So, Mr. Ayisi, you have two questions in one here. The first one is talking about investment opportunities for pensioners. And the rest of that question, I'm sure you heard quite clearly. I'm not going to go.
Thank you, Tama. I think he was asking whether we have a customer care unit or something. Yes, we have it.
Who can advise pensioners on which areas to invest in?
I'll put my number on air.
Okay.
Particularly the usual WhatsApp number. 0266 777 119. He can send me a WhatsApp if he's hearing me. The gentleman will come from Adenta or
Medina Estate.
And then we will engage him. Okay. Pensioners, and they are just Ghanaians like anybody else. So that is that. He can send me a WhatsApp message. And then the second one.
The distribution of
yes, it has to be
the gold catcher.
Yeah, well, of course, I came and discussed it here, but I'll just repeat. Now, as part of the efforts to sanitize small-scale mining, we realize that one of the things we need to do for them is to give them equipment to work with. Because country, they use mercury, and this champagne, they pollute the water bodies, etc. So government, in its wisdom, decided to bring these machines and give it to them. So you don't have to use mercury. The machine will crash, it will mill, concentrate, and then the gold will come. It uses only water. And then we will give it to you. They will do what they call work and pay, 2 years.
What was the criteria for selecting those?
Yes, so I'm coming to that. Who qualifies? One, you must be a small-scale miner, properly registered with the Minerals Commission. In other words, you should have a license. You should have license to do small-scale mining, whether as an individual or community mining. That's the first thing. Two, if you have lodged an application with us, and we have done the inspections and we are processing it, we can also give it to you. And then the third category, if the community miners or the small-scale miners come together and say, Tema is our sponsor, so he's going to procure the machine for us and help us do the mining too, we also allow that. Because the large-scale people do that. Some of the large-scale people don't have money themselves. They go and raise money from the banks. And he will bring you a letter saying that, look, this bank will give me $200 million from operation. Or I'm going to sell shares. So why can't a small-scale miner come together and say, these people are our sponsors, they are going to give us the machine, they are going to pay for it, and then we'll do work and pay. It's also fine with us. So these are the three categories of person. Let me repeat. You must be a registered, licensed small-scale miner. You have all the approvals, the license, the EPA permit, operating permit. Two, a small-scale person who has lodged an application in the Minerals Commission and has gone past inspection. And it's been proved that, yes, it's good to go, whilst we wait to take it to the minister. Because if you've not done inspection yet, we may come around. It may be a Ramsar site. It may be an area that is ecologically very sensitive. So we might say no. By that time, it's too late. We give you the machine. We don't want that. So once you have gone past inspection stage and you are good to go, we can also give it to you. And if the miners also come together and say, this our sponsor is going to pay for it, we have an arrangement to, you also qualify. And it's going very well, we are distributing. Last week, the Deputy Minister for Mines, in charge of mines, Honorable Mekuduka, launched 2 areas, one in the Tiwa East, one in the Tiwa West. We give them the machine. We prepare an agreement, within 2 years they will pay. So as they pay monthly, we have some kind of revolving fund to bring in more for the others.
I'd like to doubt that that's your answer there. Kojo has joined us from Tema. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your question for Mr. Ayisi?
My question is very straightforward. I want to find out, do they work with the oil and gas companies as well?
Oil and gas?
Yes.
Does Minerals Commission work with oil and gas?
No, our law is very clear. Minerals Commission is supposed to regulate and manage the mining sector. So we have our sister or analogous institution, Petroleum Commission. They do oil and gas, we do mining. That's all. So we don't dabble in oil and gas. But we have a relationship because we share a lot of data. It's the same land. So we share data a lot. Yes, we collaborate.
Collaboration indeed. Mr. Ayisi, what would be your final comments? Because we've visited this topic a number of times.
Final comments, let me, if you can give me 2-3 minutes, just read what the local people qualify. It's stated clearly in the law. So supply of stationery and printing of name tags, supply of provisions and toiletries, cleaning, painting, disinfection or fumigation services, collection of rubbish, emptying of sewages and other sanitary services. And these things, they run into several millions of cedis. It's not some 10,000 or 5,000. Physical training, gym training, swimming instructions, local security, local patrol and neighborhood watch services, local health education services, minor maintenance services including plumbing and electrical fittings, etc. So these are the kind of things the local people, those who live in the mine, can procure or come and register for them to also get what you people say no feel. Again, the number is 0266 777 119. You can send me a WhatsApp, I'll respond and deal with all the issues. Thank you very much.
That number is on your screen now, the WhatsApp number for Mr. Ayisi and the team, 0266 777 119. They are there to respond to any questions you may have about how you can benefit from the Local Content and Local Participation Regulation 2020 LI 2431. So you can apply to supply any of the 41 items reserved for Ghanaians only, or you can apply for your company to supply any of those local services that are also on offer. Anything from stationery to plumbing and electricals is in there. Catering services also available for Ghanaians as part of those 41 items, so you can benefit. You can catch all this again on the social media handles of the Minerals Commission: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. And what to look for is Minerals Commission Ghana. All the answers are there. Mr. Martin Kwekwe-Ayisi is the CEO of the Minerals Commission, and he sat down with us this morning to answer our questions and yours. Mr. Ayisi, as always, thank you so much, and we'll see you hopefully next week.
Yes, next week we'll discuss issues of skills.
Skills?
Yes.
And whether the Ghanaians are getting the skills to see the expatriates out.
Enough of the supplies and the products. But we'll take more questions, but now we'll discuss skill development in mining. Skill development in mining. If you are interested in that topic, it's a date we have for next Wednesday, God willing, and we'll be here to answer some more questions on how you can get you can acquire the skills to also contribute or to get a job in mining. And I bet you'll be very interested in that topic next week on our date with the Minerals Commission. This is GTV Breakfast.